Network is sort of coming up with an alternative system that uses Bitcoin as sort of source of truth, right? It's like the base layer of things to come up with these sort of P2P channels that would basically lock some funds into a multisig, right, between two peers, right, and they would run some sort of dedicated software, right? And then that would allow them to send funds back and forth, pretty much forever until one of them decides to leave this sort of construction, right? So what that allows you to do is now basically you do one on-chain Bitcoin TX. I'm trying to find some graphics so that maybe could be helpful. But anyway, we can stay on this. So yeah, what it would allow is that now you do one TX. You say, okay, I have this channel with like between Alice and Bob for one BTC. It starts from Alice, and Alice can send funds to Bob, and then Bob can send funds back to Alice, like back and forth. And then they will all record all of this, and it will be fully trustless. And if somebody try to take funds and say, no, my channel balance is actually a lot more than what you're claiming, and then they can basically take all these commitment transactions that they've been signing when sending funds back and forth to the base blockchain, and the blockchain can resolve sort of that dispute between them, right? And I guess what's actually cool about these payment channel-based networks is that you can come up with a way so that you actually route funds. So what that means is now you have channels between Alice and Bob, but what about Carol? Carol comes in, and Carol can open a channel to Bob, and now you can send funds from A, B, C, right? So all the way and all the way back, and obviously you can have all sorts of complex interactions between all these peers across a wide variety of combinations of channels. And now you can sort of send funds from one end of the earth to the other over Lightning Network, and it's instant and it's very low fee, at least for now. And so yeah, that's what's exciting about it, right? Hopefully that's good enough entry. I mean, I think people should read obviously the Bitcoin white paper and then the Lightning Network paper as well. It's just good base knowledge. And then, but basically, what for builders, let's say for practical purposes, right? We would like to talk, I'd like to talk more and focus more on what's available to you as a builder and what's available to people that wanna, like get up and running with Lightning and then build stuff, right? So on that front, I suggest sort of a few things that I use, right? So I guess some of them people might agree, disagree. Everyone has their personal opinions about like developer tooling, right? But I guess from my point of view, like I have a few favorites that I don't mind a little bit mentioning or shilling, you could say. So like I've been working with, for example, I've been using OpenNote, which is like a completely KYC US-based payment processor that supports Bitcoin on chain and Bitcoin Lightning, right? They're very, very easy to get up with, like just get started with. You get an API key, just like a regular, any web service, any API provider, right? You get an API key, and you can just start taking payments, right? And basically they will send you a webhook when the payment confirms, and then when you receive the webhook, whatever language you're using, you can act on it, right? So what that means is, let's say you're selling something, or you come up with a Lightning app. I can mention some of my very simple ones, right? That for example do like a simple game or something, right? So something. You show something and people click a button, and you can generate obviously a lot of invoices because it's pretty cheap to actually create a Lightning Network invoice. And you can show that to the user. The user can pay with whatever wallet they're using. They can be using browser extension like Alby, or they can be using any number of Lightning wallets like, I don't know, Wallet of Satoshi, or I think Blue Wallet stopped their custodial version. I don't know, people like to use Moon and then Phoenix, anyone really. So once that's paid, you get a webhook, and you can do stuff on your backend and show the user updated state of things, right? So that's sort of how it usually goes. And then I think a great alternative to these, otherwise KYC or services is things like Alembits, right? So Alembits is great. It's open source. Basically, that's what it is: Lightning accounts system. So what it gives you, right off the bat, you can you should deploy it on your own server with your Lightning nodes, and we should probably shortly talk about the Lightning implementations, right? So we have LND, which is Lightning Labs products, and then you have Core Lightning, it's called now. It's a Blockstream product. And then you have async, async Eclair, right? So there's a bunch of Lightning node implementations that basically conform to the bold specifications, which basically define how Lightning Network works and interacts between the nodes. But Alembits is sort of a layer on top of that. So you have your Lightning node, and then you deploy this very simple, basically Python-based software stack, and it gives you this wallet accounting system. So what that means is maybe like you can just go in here and like just do like it's host. This is a hosted. Obviously, you should always use this with like very low amounts, if at all. You shouldn't leave any funds here because somebody's hosting this node basically, just for development purposes. So so you can just create a wallet, right? And what it does in the background is it enters you into its sort of overall accounting system, and it will create this wallet, and you immediately see like all the API details and API endpoints here, right? So now you're basically ready to take payments. So what that means, let's say create an invoice, right? So you have, again, some activity, somebody comes to your site, they want to do something in exchange for some sort of digital money, right? And you can basically post a request to this endpoint. You can give it an amount, which is in Satoshis. You can give it a memo so that you know what it's about. And then you use your API key that's provided to you here. And you'll be able to create an invoice. And it will basically return you the payment hash and the payment request. So the payment request is what you would show the user to take the funds, right? So that they can send the funds, and obviously the funds will be routed through the Lightning network that we spoke earlier. So yeah, I mean, I think this is I did one of the BTC origin stories or origin. Oh, I don't have it now, but yeah, I mean, I did a lot of projects that use Alembit's infrastructure, and basically it also has webhooks, by the way. It can also send webhooks, or you can just come up with a simple way to sort of poll for payment every 10 seconds, every 5 seconds, every minute, depending on your use case, so that you'll know that there has been a payment made to your node, right? So yeah, I think this is a great tool. And the cool thing about this is that it has extensions. So whatever you're thinking of doing that might actually already exist, or even better, it might actually have like a basic version that you can start off from, right? So you can see so many extensions here, and I'd like to mention a few just because this is the type of like infrastructure level platform that really allows you to also not build everything from scratch, which at least I consider a great thing, because it gives you sort of your time back, and that you can focus on what you actually want to do on top of it, right? So for example, let's talk about maybe we can talk about Discord bot, right? So you can basically enable this, and now you have a Discord bot connected to your Alembits that can generate users and wallets, right? Or I think one of the ones that I used to use, I mean, LN URL support is very important, right? And Lightning address support is very important, right? So these things, because they simplify the UX of Lightning so much, that they're super helpful. You can do a marketplace on this, right? So the split payments is what I was trying to show earlier, where we worked with an artist, Crypto Graffiti, so that, for example, he would play tracks, right, on a video stream, and if people tip him, right, via this extension generated invoices, the funds would be split between the creator, whoever he wants, for example, the producer of the song, or or the developer that helped him build the thing, right? So like maybe 10% goes to the actual song owner, or maybe 50% goes to the song owner, 10% to the performer, and then you can even send funds to other people involved in the production, right? So it's basically sort of like a almost like a contract, right? It's not quite, but almost. So yeah, I think, let me look at the time. Yeah, I'll wrap up this Lightning Lambits part real quick. I mean, you can take a look for yourself. You can enable any of these extensions and look at, they will all come with their own API, right? Obviously that you can call programmatically, which is, I think, very powerful. You can sell tickets. So yeah, I guess that what I'm trying to say is that, this exists. You can use this, especially for sort of building and preparing a proof of concept. You can do this already. And for also your own purposes, all you need is like your either, Umbrel or your server, some sort of online or your laptop to install it. And you can install, let's say, Core Lightning on it, right? Some Lightning node implementation. And on top of it, you install LM-bits and you're up and running. Now you have like a full Lightning enabled API that you can take payments with. Obviously, there's a little bit of work involved with channel management on the Lightning side, where you need to open some channels, but there are now there are lots of options for receiving inbound liquidity. So you can purchase some, or you can just go into Lightning Network Plus and sort of swap some liquidity with people, so that you have enough channels inbound, and then you can go from there. So that's it about, I think, that's it about Lightning LM-bits and sort of API infra. I'll talk a little bit about LNswap, because I assume some people that are watching this might be interested in building apps with stacks, right? That might have Clarity capabilities, that maybe you write a smart contract using Clarity, you deploy it on Stacks chain, and then you want to maybe, I don't know, you want to accept payments with on-chain Bitcoin, or you want to accept people enter and utilize your contracts with Bitcoin, right? Native Bitcoin, or at least until we have SBTC live, right? So you have this option where you can actually request native Bitcoin to trigger Clarity contract calls, right? Which I think is a very cool capability. So I'll open this, and then I'll actually maybe I'll go to our docs, right? So let's go to our docs. Swap. It should be here. Okay. So cool. So basically, what we offer on that front is a simple widget, right? And that you can get started pretty quickly, right? So what this widget enables, I mean, you can I can share some demos on this as well, but it's in my opinion, at least, it's very cool to see, because first of all, we have a testnet version that you can check for yourself, and the other important part is that this LNswap widget allows you to drop in a swap UI right on your website, right? So right on your app, wherever that may be running. And what that means is now you just need this code, right? So to sort of pull the widget JavaScript, right? And it will show up on your website. And basically in your front end code, all you do is, for example, let's say you want to do something with this widget. So let's say you want to enable, let's say, what did we do? One use case, yeah, like send SDX to that LAN, right? So you have something where people come in and maybe they want to get some, they want to withdraw their funds, right, from SDX, from Stacks, from a contract, but they want to take it on Lightning, right? So we offer that capability. All you do is basically call this function that says trigger transfer swap, and you put the user's SDX address, you put the amount, and then you put a memo, right? And basically this will enable a contract. This will trigger a contract call that will pull funds from the user's wallet with their approval, obviously, and then it will lock funds onto the contract, and it will also enable them to withdraw the funds on Lightning, right? So it can be called. We did similar things like mint an NFT with Lightning, right? So what that means, again, you sort of connect users Stacks wallet, in this case, let's, for example, Hero wallet, to the website and to the widget. And what they can do is they can trigger a call such that, let's say, there's a sample NFT contract that has a claim function, so you can trigger it directly from the widget, right? And I mean, it just sort of simplifies the UX of using all these things, and also it will pop up like a Bitcoin on-chain invoice that that user can pay. So now basically, if you have, let's say, again, like maybe as part of your project, you're offering a certain benefit to those that mint an NFT, right? So yeah, now they can do it. You can just plug this into your website, and you can trigger like a minting of an NFT on Stacks with Lightning or with on-chain Bitcoin. Right? They pay the invoice, and one of our liquidity providers provide funds to lock into the contract, right? And then once that's done, they will be they'll have the opportunity to I mean, they'll actually the contract call will go through upon payment, right? Because it basically directly triggers the contract call. And once that's done, the NFT will be minted and sent to the address that's shown here. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of capability. I mean, we also have our API docs that enables you to do even more things. These are sort of the presets, I would say, swap sort of scenarios that we were able to come up with as part of the UI, because these come from actual use cases. For example, we worked with the Stacks Degens team to prepare this contract call that triggers their trustless rewards contract call, right? So that people can, for example, create games with Bitcoin, right? So create and then yeah, I mean, you can sort of let your imagination go wild there. You can basically do any trustless contract calls that can be triggered by native Bitcoin. That's sort of the goal of what we're doing at LNSwap. So yeah, I think we're almost at time. So I'll do some closing remarks and say that we definitely have a lot of infrastructure available. We have all these tools, both on Lightning side, on obviously Bitcoin already has a lot of tools. But regardless, right? So we should be looking to run our own nodes, which gives you the best sense of security. And then, but on top of that, for sort of fast application building, there's definitely a lot of things that are at your disposal. And if you get stuck, as always, like I'm reachable publicly. You can tag me on LNSwap account. Happy to help, or you can DM. You can find me on Discord. So yeah, I'm happy to help to all the builders. And yeah, good luck to everyone, I guess, on the hackathon. So thanks.